CaitlinClark presented in Europe after a WNBA season that broke records.
From the sounds of this interview, it seems like she's probably going to make more money overseas in EuroLeague than she did during this WNBA season. The commissioner told her that she could make $700,000 playing in
the EuroLeague formally verified CaitlinClark's entrance. And it's clear that while Clark is going to light up Europe, Kathy Engel and the WNBA executive are probably feeling the heat as they get ready to go back to the adorable little void of insignificance they were in before Clark arrived and gave everyone something to watch. This is especially true now that the WNBA has disclosed the contract details. Let's be honest, CaitlinClark is the sole reason you are here. You won't waste any more time on those painfully awful teams when she departs.
There could be a team overseas who would love to snatch CaitlinClark away from us and give her a crazy offer. I mean, Ice Cube was about to give her $5 million to play in less than 10 games in the Big Three. So the money is there, and if these owners are smart with it, I could definitely see more WNBA players.
The WNBA lost their golden goose due to a series of terrible decisions and some race-baiting drill, but let's not focus on that. In essence, they destroyed their own star. Clark's new adventure, traveling abroad and perhaps never coming back, is where the main action takes place. I know that some of you ardent CaitlinClark fans in America are a little upset about her traveling to Europe, but let's be honest. You want her to be happy, which is why you're being silent. You secretly know that you don't mind as long as Clark is doing well. Clark loves you just as much, so don't worry. Actually, I have a small tidbit of information from her that will bring you immense joy. So pay close attention because I'm going to tell you the truth about this EuroLeague arrangement.
At his rookie salary, which was around $55 million for 4 years, and then you look at CaitlinClark's $300 and I think it was $38,000 salary that she signed for 4 years. That is about the same amount more. It's around 162 times more that Victor made.
We're discussing EuroLeague women, which isn't given the recognition it merits despite being the top women's basketball league in Europe. I am aware that people are still sleeping on it, despite it being like basketball's hidden jewel. The head of the EuroLeague women's team, Polis Modiajunis, has officially ended the speculations. Officially, CaitlinClark is getting ready to travel to Europe. Furthermore, this is more than simply a side employment while the WNBA takes a break.
Always sold out. Unbelievable. So Atlanta would normally have 3,000, 4,000 people. Now they have 17,000 people, and they sold 1,000 standing room only tickets. So when we walked into the arena, people were on that third balcony looking down at the tops of our players' heads to watch.
For those who might not know, the EuroLeague Women's League is governed by FA Europe. And trust me when I tell you that some of the most intense basketball games are played there. Your typical summer break league isn't this one? No. The October-April EuroLeague allows Clark to satisfy her basketball addiction throughout the year. She is essentially setting herself up to dominate both sides of the pond, as if she were playing chess and everyone else was stuck playing checkers.
Europe is almost better than the game in the end.
The problem is this. More time has passed since the founding of the EuroLeague Women's Basketball League in 1958 than the majority of us have been alive. Similar to the old Women's Basketball League, which changed its name in the 1990s, it hasn't been as successful commercially as the WNBA for whatever reason. But don't get me wrong. This is a serious league. It has a purpose and is home to some of the top ballers in the world.
Europe is almost better than the game in the end.
To give you a thorough explanation, the EuroLeague is lengthier than the WNBA, which is a great, short summer league. And I'll describe why it's superior. We're not simply discussing American celebrities vying for one another at the moment. Clark is up against the top players in Europe in the EuroLeague, which is a completely different level of competition. While the WNBA is undoubtedly popular, talents like Clark can really shine in the EuroLeague Women's Basketball League.
In Europe, but not in, I knew it, but didn't know how big they were. And we travel like superstars. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That sounds like a dream. Traveling around Europe, playing basketball.
Like we went to Paris played in Paris for the Euro.
Now think about it. Clark is already a well-known figure in the WNBA, but she is setting herself up to become a worldwide phenomenon by visiting Europe. In addition to playing more games, She is establishing her brand by participating in international competitions and earning recognition globally. "This is a badass move," was all that was said. Let's also acknowledge that the WNBA predominantly features teams from all across Europe competing and has shorter seasons. Talent from Russia, Turkey, Spain, France, and other nations is drawn to the EuroLeague. I can assure you that Clark will become an even more formidable force in the basketball world as a result of her being there.
From the sounds of this interview, it seems like she's probably going to make more money overseas in EuroLeague than she did during this WNBA.
The WNBA is obviously going crazy at the moment. Who wouldn't be, really? This goes beyond a player quitting. The most well-known figure in women's basketball in a very long time is CaitlinClark. You might wonder, why Europe? It's only dominance. Clark isn't content to just rule the WNBA court. She wants to improve her game and show that she isn't only the queen of one castle, but is ready to rule the whole basketball kingdom. Rather, her goal is to reach Europe. There had been rumors for a while that Clark would be relocating to Europe, but the basketball community was shocked when Palmody Jones, the head coach of the EuroLeague women's team, formally confirmed it. Caitlin will be traveling to Europe to play for a premier EuroLeague squad. Furthermore, this isn't your typical off-season exercise. Instead, it's her entering a new market, a new level of competitiveness, and enhancing her reputation as a worldwide phenomenon. The WNBA is definitely sweating profusely in the meanwhile. Clark was their ace in the hole to maintain interest in women's basketball in the U.S. following that wild rookie season. For once, people were taking notice of her half-court bombs, her jaw-dropping skills, and her rivalries with players like Angel Reese. But now that she alternates between the WNBA and Europe, the leagues are facing a significant problem. There will be less screen time, less publicity, and fewer viral moments because Clark works for them part-time. Let's be honest, Clark was expected to play for the WNBA for many years. Therefore, losing her, even if it's only on a part-time basis, is a huge blow.
Business aspect makes sense. We could lose more players to.
By playing in two of the most competitive leagues in the world without missing a beat while everyone else is stuck on checkers, Clark is effectively tripling her opportunities. It's a clever move that makes her more well-known all across the world as everyone else attempts to figure out what happened. From a business perspective, it makes sense, but we run the danger of losing more players to play elsewhere. And let's not even talk about the business aspect of it. CaitlinClark is demonstrating that she is more than just a baller by visiting Europe, which will expose her to a whole new market and fan base. European basketball fans will purchase front-row seats to see CaitlinClark's global takeover, which is sure to be an incredible spectacle. Her global fame just went into overdrive with this move.
It just, the WNBA, you know, if you want us to be here, you have to pay us more. It's business, it's how it works, and that's...
In reference to the WNBA, since they had a lot of faith in Clark and she is now employed by other leagues, they are in a challenging position. Their entire marketing strategy has suffered a significant setback. The strategy to propel the league into its next stage of expansion was CaitlinClark. She has been their future face and social media darling. However, they are aware that they have a huge void to fill now that Clark is leaving for Europe on a part-time basis. However, it should come as no surprise that the ratings for the CaitlinClark series plummeted. All I'm waiting for when I watch the Indiana Fever game is for CaitlinClark to make a mistake. Here is the evidence. The number of people watching the Indiana Fever games has increased dramatically since Clark joined the WNBA. Are you able to dispute me? She was in competition with Angel Reese. People are drawn to that drama. Her deep threes are essentially infectious treasure. The Clark wave has been carried by the WNBA. However, as she is now juggling her time between leagues, those breathtaking moments will become less often. Clark isn't only interested in making quick money. She has enormous plans for the future, including growing her business, improving herself, and safeguarding her reputation internationally. This player isn't merely seeking a challenge. The future of women's basketball on both sides of the Atlantic will be altered by this strategic move.
That the ratings from CaitlinClark series to these series fell off a cliff, it should surprise no one.
I'm watching the Indiana Fever game. I'm just waiting on Caitlin.
Big names, dazzling highlights, hype, and ads are all over the WNBA. However, keep in mind that this league has a completely distinct taste, so don't sleep on EuroLeague ladies. Furthermore, it may have some surprises in store that the WNBA isn't aware of. Some of you may be asking yourselves, wait, are EuroLeague women truly superior to the WNBA? The response may astound you.
An incredible star. She's totally vitalized interest in the WNBA.
Let's start by addressing the most urgent problem. With a chance to prolong it to October if you're lucky enough to make it to the playoffs, the WNBA season runs from May to early September. The lengthier season is ideal for CaitlinClark, who enjoys having the ball in her hands. She isn't searching for an easy solution. Every game is a new chapter in the story, and she is here to stay. That short-term existence is not the focus of the EuroLeague. Rather, it consists of roughly 6 months of non-stop basketball action between October and April. This implies that players like Clark will have twice as much exposure, twice as much grind, and twice as many opportunities to showcase their full potential. The story of CaitlinClark.
Via Forbes, they have the highest audience they've seen in 24 seasons on the WNBA games. Televised games with CaitlinClark's Indiana Fever averaged 1.18 million viewers compared to 394,000 for all other games. There were a record 22 games that averaged over 1 million viewers, 19 of which involved.
And let's not even discuss the rivalry. There are undoubtedly several American ballers with extraordinary talent in the WNBA. However, ladies in the EuroLeague are a very other ball. You no longer only play against Americans in the EuroLeague. You face a Russian team that uses a lot of brute force one night, and a sleek, quick-witted Turkish team with more plays than a chess master the next. Each squad has a unique style of play, akin to a basketball world tour. Fashions. Wait till Clark is playing against the best in Europe if she thought winning the WNBA was fun. She no longer only